Hey, this is kind of up close, but whatever. This idea just popped into my head, and I thought, well, you know what? I need to. I've had so many really cool, really fun clients, people I worked for and worked with over the years, and some of them have been the greatest, and some of them have been really nightmares. But like so many of them have been memorable. So I'm going to tell you about this one little instance in my career back in Lexington, Kentucky, when I was a muralist, and I was living in a great apartment and just doing this and that for people. And so I kind of had a name for myself in my little chosen hometown of Lexington there, because there was a couple summers where I just was so overexposed as an artist, because I don't know why. It was great and everything, but I was doing really pretty well. And so this man got in touch with me, and he said could you paint a mural on a ceiling? And I said, oh, of course, because at that time my Michelangelo thing hadn't set in yet. I hadn't destroyed the discs in my neck yet, and they're gone now. Don't worry, it fused together, but it's all fused. It doesn't hurt, at least not today. But I said, well, yes, I could. Now, I got to tell you that at the time, and it's funny because I'm kind of in this similar situation right now because of just the way things turned out. But, you know, I was never a big car-loving person. They fulfilled a duty, but they were so much responsibility when I was young. After my father said, I'm not going to take care of your cars, I was not real good with cars. So I sold my car and I did really well in Lexington. I mean, clients would come pick me up and take me to their house every morning if they really wanted what I did, and it was sweet. It wasn't like, and if they didn't, they'd send a servant to pick me up. But you know, I've taken cabs to work, all that. But anyway, here's the thing. So I get this call from this man, and he lets me know right off the bat that he is a very, very powerful and influential person. And he said, I hear that you can paint a mural on a ceiling. And I said, yes. And he said, could you paint a nude mural of a woman on a ceiling? And I said, absolutely. I know this guy collected antiques, so I was like, absolutely. I mean, absolutely, I could. And he said, well, I've got this pretty special bed, and I would really like it if you would paint a nude woman on the ceiling over the bed. And I said, oh, sort of like Frenchy, sort of like maybe old world style. But he said, oh, well, you know, as long as she's really stacked and blonde. And I'm like, okay. So the thing is, I guess he came and got me. He came and got me and took me to see what he wanted me to paint. And he drove a little tiny little car, like a little Boxster or something. And he was a small man, not real funny, but thought maybe he was. But, and he had a vicious little dog. And the little dog sat between us, and he said, oh yeah, the dog, vicious, don't even make eye contact. You will think that he wants you to reach your hand up, but he really just wants to bite you. And so and he lived in another township. We weren't even just talking about going from 3rd Street to 6th Street. We're talking about going into another township completely. So I see, and I'm like, okay. So anyway, I get back there, and the first day at work, the very first day at work, because I'm just like dropped there, and I'm alone, and I go in, and I had told him, you know, the bed needs to be disassembled, okay? I mean, it can be sitting up, but I can't just be on the mattress, and I can do some of that, but I can't myself. So when I went and I saw that the bed had been stripped, but the bed had not been disassembled, I was going to have to take the box spring and the mattress off in order to get up there. And I flipped the mattress off, and I flipped the box spring off, and was sliding them to a place where I could cover them and get them out of the way. And I turned around, and like everybody, there was all this stuff stored under the bed, right? But not really, well, like probably more people than would be willing to, but not like everybody. Honey, big rubber dinguses and appendages and sex toys and whirligigs that did things and spiral movements, and it was like, I felt like I was in the cell of a sexually transmitted disease. I thought, I'm actually in a cell. Anyway, it was like, so, you know what? I had to work, so I just kind of kicked it, and a lot of it rolled away from me, but I covered it up and everything, and then, like, I'm really look around the room, because I'm like, this guy owns a couple of really good, fine antiques, but this house has not one lick of fun or taste in it. There is nothing. It's all just empty, medicinal, and everything except for these couple of antiques that he's so proud of. And then I look over and I'm scanning the bedroom, and I see that there's a tripod set up in the corner with a video camera on it, because you go into somebody's bedroom, you're going to know. Now, I'm not mentioning the person's name. I'm just talking about the client, and you will never in a million years guess who it was. But here was the situation, and here was what was so funny. He was very specific. I want her to have long blonde hair and blue eyes. And, like, I'm there, and I'm seeing pictures of his wife, who has gone to her mother's house for a few weeks before she delivers his child. And I'm looking at her picture. She has neither long blonde hair nor blue eyes. And I'm like, he's like, this is really going to surprise her. I don't know if she's going to like it. I'm like, she's not going to like it. Well, anyway, here's the deal. I just said, I'm going to do it. So I said, look, I'm going to do it like with kind of a cloudy background, but with like a French surround of like pseudo Rococo filigree and stuff like that, to just kind of frame it off, because you don't want it just floating up there. It's not some old dirty bookstore or anything. This got to look like, and he said, oh yeah, whatever you want, just make her blonde hair, blue eyes, and big boobs. And I was like, okay. So the second, because it took me two days to complete this, and when I came back the second day, the bed had been put back together, because of course he needed to use it, so I had to disassemble the bed again. But in the middle of the bed was a Hustler magazine laid out with the centerfold open and a post-it on it that said, note pinkish tan and texture of nipples. And I was like, I'm gonna give you those nipples and I'm out of here, man, because you have got a big swirling storm of marital unbliss when your wife gets home, because you have just paid me to do a work of pure pornography on your ceiling, and it's not pornography that looks like your missus. That's all I got for you today, folks. Bye.